Hello guys, welcome back. You are here for the last part of this case study, and as you know, we already did some basic texture for the pencil we made. So today we are going to refine the lighting and also trying to make everything looks just a little bit better, right? We're all pursuing the perfections, and here we are. Okay, so let's go to the shading tab. Come over here, and we have a HDRI image applied for the general lighting. So it's kind of just for the purpose of seeing what the texture looks like. Now we are going to go to the nitty gritty of real lighting. So what we can do here, we need to cut off the lights. Hit the control and right click, and again I forgot to turn on the shortcut key. Now you can see that, so we turn it off. Although it says we disconnect the HDRI images now, I still have some strengths on the overall lighting for the background, so that's why you still can see some details. If I can pull that and put it in 0, yeah, that's completely dark. And I don't really need to do anything right now. I'm just going to kind of get that reference image off here. Yeah, it's completely dark. Okay, so what I can do now here, I'm actually going to put this 3D cursor. You can hold shift and then right click and put place wherever you want. So I want to kind of put in here and adding a light. So the light is going to come out from the 3D cursor. So shift A, go to the light, and do an area light, and default is facing down. We can see there's something going on here. So we're gonna hit R and rotate it, and coming out, right? You can see here we have some lights going on, and we can duplicate it, the light, shift D, come over here, X, and just do that. Right, so we have kind of even illuminating from both sides, and we can see the texture a little bit better. I personally, right now, this is something that's bothering me quite a bit. I need to fix this because it feels like it's torted and twisted, and it doesn't feel like it's right. See, these in our eyes, and one thing is very interesting. You can see that in our eyes, we feels like these lines are tilted up, but actually it's not. It's because the surroundings really giving you some distorted vision. Yeah, it's kind of one of the tricks that usually our eyes get tricked by our brain, but we're gonna adjust that. This is bother the shit out of me. Sorry, my language. Let's get this fixed. So we are going to the UV editing and see what we can do here. Actually go to the edit mode, hit A, all of that, and then we can see our UV editing, UV map is in here. So so we can hit R and kind of rotate it. Does it really? Yeah, see that? Just that rotation, you can actually feel much better about this pencil, right? Right, yes, that's kind of what do I want. Right, exactly. And if we can actually scale it up to make it look smaller and bigger, I think like to have the pattern a little bit smaller. Yeah, it's just right now it's just kind of tweaking and trying to get everything perfect. So now I didn't do anything about the lines. So now does it make sense? It looks like a parallel to each other. It looks nice. Yeah, it's funny. It's always fascinating how your brain works and how your eyes work. So that's a lot of time actually as a visual artist, you can do a lot of things to kind of help you to trick your viewers through lighting. So that's one thing I'm a strong believer that the lighting can change quite a bit of things, and a lot of times we are not really have to creating the materials like 100% accurate as a scientist. I do respect the material scientists, but for rendering stuff or for just only for visual, we can do a lot of tricks with lighting to get things around, because our ultimate goal is just getting the image that looks nice, and that's what we need. So always remember why you do that, and what is your outcome for what you need. So from now, as you can see, the background is very dark. It's a little bit challenging to kind of work around it. So I'm just going to do like 0.5. Yeah, just see, oh, where's the light? I can see that. So that's kind of just something that you want to just kind of create it to work the best way that serves for you. So we have both side light already, and we can actually be adding some rim light. Basically, what is a rim light is kind of outline the shape of this product. And usually, sometimes if you are putting your object in front of a dark background, that you want to have some rim light to kind of outline the shape. It's kind of important. And same thing, we apply that very often in the traditional studio photography production. So we are going to do that, and we are using a pretty big light. I want to give you guys some basic lighting principles to understand the light. The bigger light relatively to the object, as the bigger light it is, the softer light is going to be. What it means is hard and soft. Hard light means pretty defined light transactions and transitions, and soft is kind of smooth and blurry type of lighting shadow transactions. So that's kind of the major thing. So it's all about the relativity. It's not about really physical size or anything. Right now, this light compared to this pencil is pretty big light, all right? So it feels like, yeah, you can fit like 4 or 5 pencils in here for the surface. So this is considered pretty soft light to that. So usually when I work with this lighting, so I want to know, I usually want to start with the rim light or anything to trying to kind of get a small shadow effect, and then I'm gonna go to the key light and to adding things on. So what I can do now, I'm just going to mute these two lights, just kind of do that. So now suddenly you can see, oh, so this is the rim light I'm actually just added on over here. So what I can do here, I can just kind of change the name, hit F2, and the rim. Come on, rim. Yeah, rim light. So then you can see the shadow things it's been creating. So it's just kind of highlight that. It's pretty cool. I like it. And then we can do another one. Shift D over here and rotate it. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty nice. And come over here. And you definitely can change the power of each rim light. And as you can see, based on the different positions, there are some lights can cross, there's some lights cannot really pass across because the position of the light is not really physically possible to kind of illuminating the front part, but we will add something on. So I don't really emphasize like everything need to have a rim light. It's lighting, and also a lot of stuff is kind of it's not just a science, it's not programming, it's a form of art. We wanted to let you understand that you have a lot of creative decision you kind of make. You see the rim light I got over here, but I need something at the top as well. I feels like this is kind of like images I want to go with a high key look later with a pure white background. So for this, I'm just going to kind of move the rim light on the right hand side, kind of put a positioning up here. Now you can see some rim light over here. And when we come to the bottom part, you see that, yeah, because this light is kind of like not that long enough, I probably can scale the size on Z-axis, so you will see some light coming over here. So on this side, I personally don't want to do the exactly same. It just looks too boring to me, and I just kind of I think that's cool because this is really a tiny part of the paint. And a tip, and I think we can leave there. I just giving some like dark and bright transitions. We will tweak that later on. And then for this guy, I think it's fine. I'm just going to kind of move, see if anything changes. If I move to the left, more light is gonna come out from this side. So let's see what I can do. Yeah, it's a lot of time. It's just kind of your creative decisions that you have to make, and you're trying to outline and make the looks that's the best way you think. Yeah, I still want to have that highlight on the top. So yeah, so far not too bad. I like it. I just gonna kind of think that I can stick with it. I would like to change the power for a little bit smaller, maybe try 5, just kind of have some distinguish between the other one. And also for the other one, I feel like it's still a little bit overexposed, so I would just do 8. How about that? Yeah, just tiny bit different. Okay, so now I can add I can bring the light. It's coming out from the left hand side. And yeah, so this is another thing I want to show you, to tell you, this actually is called a side light. It's coming from the, we call this name from the direction of the light. So it's coming from the side. Where if you have certain items, or even photograph a people, and then using a camera and light, if you put positioning the light on the side, actually increasing the textures, just because the fall off of the light is really kind of demonstrating the textures of the product, or your people's face, or whatever it is. That's kind of one trick that a lot of CG artists, or maybe beginners, they don't understand how light works. So if you again come to the question, what do you want to show your viewers? So for this, I want to show the designs, the details, the textures, of course. So then you probably need to put some light on the side to really showing the materials on that. Because if you will really look into the microscopic views, these are bumps, but it works just like a real materials, textures. So if you really putting in the light in the front, that actually gonna illuminating all the caves and all these lines. You won't see their differences on lighting, because when you see shapes, you will need to see the bright, the mid-tones, and the dark. So that with that transitions, then you will feel like it's more 3D. Okay, so yeah, so this is not meant to a lighting course, but I think for our case study as beginners, I think this is really a good one to just think about it. So I got a positioning over here. Let's see what we got. I kind of like that, but I think I'm losing the quality of having some like a dark edge on that. So I would do to dial it down to 5. Let's see what I have. Yeah, because I want to have some textures going on. So maybe this light is too big, so I can get it smaller. And again, the smaller size, the harsh shadow is going to be. You see, earlier we barely see some shadow details, and now we can see pretty contrasty shadows going on here. And I kind of like it, but the problem is this become too short. It's only illuminating part of this pencil. So we can do SZ, kind of scale it up. And now you can see the bright, a little bit dark, and the transitioning, and the bright. I kind of like this kind of look, and it's not that boring. And I'm just going to kind of tweak it around to see what I can do with it. I don't like that. Yeah. Yeah, tweaking lightings in the 3D program is really something wonderful, I gotta tell you, because if you're really illuminating or to photographing this tiny items in the Photoshop in the studio with your actual camera, and also light, how many light you need to get all the details done, and also same times for photographers, if you're really going to tweak all these details on that, it takes a lot of time to produce high quality images like we often see now. You're just not aware that some of them may produce through a CGI. That's why we're doing this, right? You want to step ahead to the future. You want to know where's the industry is going. So far, I think it's fine. And in here, I know it feels a little bit too dark, and the often trick that I want to use is I'm utilizing the HDRI as a fill, as a general fill. As you see that here is too dark. It's not mean to that dark. I know I want to have some dark and black and bright and the dark contrast, but not too much. So what I can do here, I can actually hook the HDRI back, but just not putting that too much over there. Let's see, I think I hooked the wrong place. I hooked the color, and then you see, get some details, but it's still too bright to me. So I'm actually going to change the strength, 0.1. Yeah, so look at that. If I don't have that, it's too dark, right? If I hook it back, yeah, a little bit detail, you see? And it feels like this part is probably a little bit overexposed, so maybe I just change to 1. I think should be fine. And probably this on the edge, this part, let me zoom in. This edge probably is illuminating because the rim light is being too strong. So I can dial the rim light down a little bit more. Okay, let me find a rim light right here. So probably let's do 3. Let's do 3, and then let's go back to here. Yeah, it should be fine. So in this case, now you can see a pretty nice defined edge of what this pencil looks like, and yeah, has pretty nice shapes and texture on that. There's a couple details that I want to do for sure towards the lighting. So on here, there's quite an uneven rim light over here, or maybe it's just too strong on that. So I want to kind of fix that. Now, let's see what I can do here. It's all about your creative judgment, and it also takes years to develop. I'm basically showing you how to use the tools and what my workflow looks like, and your eyes really need to be trained over the years. It's not something that easily to do. It's not something that you can have over watching some tutorials very quickly. But I'm trying to providing you some really good knowledge base to start with, and then you know what you need, because eventually the things that really help you better, is when you understand what do you truly want or what do you truly need. You need to understand yourself first, right? Yes, I think so far the texture wise it looks much better, and we just using a default HDRI when we're blocking out the texture. So far so good. And one more thing I want to kind of emphasize is the HB. I think it feels like it's just kind of too dark, right, in here. So we can actually adding a tiny light just to kind of outline that. So Shift D for the rim light, and let's go here and get this. I would usually when I duplicate a light, I would do Alt R kind of to change the default rotation. I can change the size. Come over here and grab it. See what I have, and I'm just gonna do that, and you see what we have. That's pretty strong, but but we will figure that out. And let's come over here. So far we're not really tweaking on the material, so I just drag the thing down. So let's do like 1 is still too strong. 0.1. Yeah, what you call this one is rim light. No, I need to change that. This is just kind of, I can call HB highlight. Yeah, and make it smaller. This is something I love to have. If you, because I'm coming from a photography background, and you having these unlimited usage of light, and also you can really precisely let your object. That, man, just I'm living the dream. So yeah, it's very small, tiny, but it's working just as the way I wanted to do. A lot of times, the best light photographers or the lighting is that you don't feel it's being lit on purpose. That's kind of what I really want to chase for. So without the highlight like this, with the light like this. So yeah, it's not really some huge change, but you certainly see the difference. And Z, and come back. Yeah, just that very subtle thing that to have. Okay, I think we're good for illuminating the basic body. Yeah, I think we're good. Oh, another thing we want to do next is, you see from my thumbnails, I know it looks like a kind of like an e-commerce catalog image because it's with a pure white background. And what I can do here, I can build a background just adding a plane like this, and grab it here. I can hit RX 90 and grab it in here. See that? Y. Yeah. So here's a trick. So if you really want to have that pure white background to get it done in here, it's not really a good idea. I'm not saying it cannot be done. You can just adding more light and doing more details for your background material. So for example, BG, do that. And we can add that as a background, and we can even just kind of do that and to get the roughness. But still, it's not pure white. It's basically because we need more light kind of illuminating the background. All right, and one thing we can try to show you is kind of adding a light, a spotlight or something, area light. Let's do that. R rotate, and R rotate at Z-axis, yeah, and 90 degrees, yeah, cool, to do that. So see, it kind of getting pretty bright, and if I'm adding a camera, it's actually just going to look a little bit different. Adding a camera, and hit Control Shift and the zero on the number pad. And then we're gonna Control Shift 0. The language input is really messed me up, so I'm gonna put it back in English. And let me select the camera. Where's my camera? Right, camera. Shift Control 0. Oh, come on! It's not listening to me today, huh? What's going on? Oh yeah, so okay, this is already in. I hit 0 on that, but it's not really what we want, so I can try that one more time. Well, this is kind of interesting. Grab and Y. And yeah, so we are right now we are in a camera mode. Hit 0 on the number pad. Something we needed to change because the camera focal length you typically do 110 110. Oops, type it wrong. Okay, so here, and grab X, come back, and hit double G, and just hold the middle mouse key, and kind of drag it back, and grab X, kind of positioning in the center. Now this is what we're looking at, and scale up the background, and to kind of get the thing off, because it's really annoying. It's kind of a big of a mess. Here, grab the camera again, positioning on X, grab a Z to do that down here. So yeah, so we can have this, and we are using a light actually kind of illuminating the background, right? So pointing to the background directly. And we can do here, we can just put in here, and I think I passed the background, right? Exactly. Go to here, and now, yeah, we can do here. We can just change the background to bring it really bright. I will show you why we don't want to do that. You know, through the camera view, hit 0, and I'm actually wanted to grab this one out here just to show you what it looks like without constantly changing things. Yeah, having that is done. You can just utilizing the way like an actual product photographer to illuminating certain materials, make it look so bright. We can even grab this whole thing all the way to the back, and to getting that perfect lit background. It can be pure white. You know, you can't get it done in this way. If you really like this result, you can have that. Or another trick that I often use, I like to use a layer mask, and you can do that when you play with positioning these things in Photoshop. So how it can get done is through this. So what I can do is here is when you actually hit renders, you're gonna render the whole image. If you hit F12, you're gonna render the whole image. So what I usually wanted to do is I would go into here. Let's see, the camera, I believe is the film. Yes, here's a transparent. That's talking about HDRI image. So think about this. If I'm going to close, let me put this one. This is the background light, BG light, and this is the BG plate, background plate. So if I'm putting these two together in the folder, hit M key and new collections, BG, and I have that. And if I'm uncheck of this, if I'm rendered, if I hit F12, I'm start rendering this image, right? You still have some dark background or whatever it is. It actually is coming from the your HDRI. If having this film and transparent check off, see that? Is this something that looks familiar to you? Yeah, it's more like a PNG kind of default looks when there's absolutely no content for that. So basically what you can do if you hit F12, so you are going to render the image just having that subject, and then the rest of these part is transparent. You can if you think about that. But the tricky part is when you actually save your renders, you want to save as a PNG file, not a TIFF, not a JPEG, because if you put a JPEG or save as TIFF, the image is going to come out with some, I think it's a white or black background added on. It's not something that you want to have as transparent. Having this as a PNG file, then when you place this image over any overlay, you can do designs, you can do a lot of stuff with it. It's very easy to manipulating and do. So let's do, if I say save as, I can do with PNG file. So I don't like any compression, so I just do that. and then save as PNG. Then you're done. Then you can use that wherever you need, and then it's much better to go that way. And in the Photoshop, you can easily put a pure white backgrounds in there. Well, I think after I'm showing you how these light works and how I'm thinking the lightings, and yeah, it's toward to the end of this tutorial, and I hope you have learned a lot. And if you're a beginner to really trying to get into the realistic rendering, please consider subscribing my channel. It's a new channel. I'm just start producing content with it, and also I want to have this channel become a good education channel that to let you guys understand the light, everything. And yeah, in order to having the best result, you need a lot of knowledge, not just know how to using tools and the programming. And I wish this will be helpful for you. And yeah, if you have any questions and concerns, and also the new topics that you wanted me to produce, please leave in the comments. I recently got some subscribers to tell me probably do some game controller videos. Yeah, I've thought about it, and probably is a very popular topic, but if I'm really doing that, it's going to consume a lot of time through modeling. And or are you guys just wanted to see what it looks like when I actually texture the model? Well, leave a comment, let me know. Okay, anyway, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.